The topic we have today is a strong house cannot compensate for a weak foundation. This comes from a story about a city that sunk in Caribbeans. Sometime in 1692, I think it was, when Port Royal, a city that was known to be the wickedest city in the world at that time, because many pirates, it was a haven for them, off the coast of Jamaica. And one day there was an earthquake with huge magnitude, 8 some magnitude, struck, and the entire city, or two-thirds of the city, not the entire city, went underwater. It was as though the foundation on which these houses, malls, um, gambling homes, and all that was built just went down. The ground underneath, it was built on a narrow sand strip, and the ground underneath just became like a liquid, and these houses just sunk in. And it is now a preserved heritage site. We are not allowed to go there, explore, because people are still looking at it, like 350 years ago, how the city was built, all the artifacts, the cup, the tables, everything, the whole house kind of went down. 2,000 people just died instantly, and many more died later. It became to be called as Pompeii. If you have heard of that Italian city, it was submerged by ashes of an volcano that erupted. So this was similar to that. It sunk in because of the earthquake. It was beautiful city, rich city, but then built on a very weak foundation. So somewhere, I read this up on, I think, Facebook. And if we parents take it to apply to our own lives, many children struggle. And all of us have struggled through childhood because we don't have articulation, we don't have vocabulary, we don't have experience. We cannot really tell parents what we are going through. You can see a child, a teenager kind of withdraw, a child who's lying to me, children who refuse to take responsibility, or they become very anxious. They're smart, but they're anxious of exams. And then we tell them, it's okay, go ahead, you're good, you're much better than so many other people, go ahead and do it. Doesn't really work, because it is not that event, it was not the day when the city sank underwater. It was happening underneath. We did not give a strong foundation. Somewhere we may have given for our children the best I can think of, but then it may not have been enough for the child. So the question that I need to ask is, am I responding to what I see today? Or was this something that was happening for years before this event took place? Now, that is when I will start getting some answers to why my child is behaving in a way that I'm not expecting. Because we send our children to excellent schools. That's me. I was having a debate with a young person, not at having children, but planning. And then we were talking about homeschooling and other options, alternative schools, what is the best schools, things like that. So we are looking for the best setup for my child, for what is best according to me, what I'm thinking as the best. And my best is based on my experiences and what my child is going through. Because child is not able to decide, we decide for them, but it might never be the good one for the child. We enroll them in so many schools. Child may not be interested in it at all. We may restrict certain technology, we may give certain technology, but that's again me. I'm not saying don't look at it, but we need to begin looking at it in a more holistic way. Now we are giving everything external technology, good schools, good uniforms, best of the best gadgets or supplies. But then, if I fail somewhere to balance it out, something that deprives me from inner as well, like the rhythm, and if I'm not worthy of imitation, if I'm not doing any purposeful work, if I'm doing work without much reverence, then what I'm giving children is going to be lopsided. Somewhere, beautiful homes on the top, on the weak foundation. So external achievements that child may go through may not mean the child could have become a resilient one. Maybe they are blamed. One of the finest doctors that I know, um, he committed suicide. I mean, he was so good, traveled across the globe and top of the line, but then he was kind of blamed for having an affair with a coworker. He's not that kind of a person, but then somehow he was so good that this tag, when he got this notice, Toxo Act, when he got it, he was like so devastated, and he became suicidal. Eventually committed suicide, now around 60 years of age. So resilience, it might have been there in the external world, but deep down, I'm still weak. I can't take on, especially when we begin performing well in the world. You see what's happening to India now. India is trying to rise, and there are many forces wanting India to be the provider. Listen to what we say and do what we say. Don't become my leader. The minute you try to assert yourself and rise, you will have lots of oppositions. Now, is my child prepared to face such brunt? That comes from the inner work, the balance that the children get from the environment we provide for their inner stability, right? So that's where we need to look at um, setting up of rhythms. Look at the child holistically, develop then observational eyes, you know, because just like how nature works in rhythms, you see that, tectonic plates are moving rather than studying the surface of the water. If I begin studying the plates underneath, how are they shifting, how are they moving? Parenting is like that, not studying what happens at the surface, but going underneath and understanding what's happening. Otherwise, I'm just there as an educator, and not, I mean, like a teacher, like something who is providing additional stuff whenever needed, but not really going deep down. A parent must be doing that, not looking at the events and getting all disturbed. Now, why is my child 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever age, 35, 42, whatever age, is behaving the way he or she is behaving? What could have been happening in their lives that they are unable to articulate? I mean, at 42, child may be able to volunteer and is an adult now, but why is he not telling me the truth or the facts? Am I approachable? Am I available? Many different things, changes. So we grow up along with children. So typically, if you understand the childhood, it is not just the first 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. It's good, long 21 years. The first 7 years, the body is built, the physical body to get into upright position, to be on that stable footing. That's what happens in the first 7 years. Only when my body is steady and in proportion, 7 to 14 is when the feeling awakens. What is good, what is bad, lots of hormonal changes in the body. I don't like it, I like it, I'm attracted to someone, I hate someone. All those kinds of polarities kind of begin developing in the child. Only when that goes through a developmental phase and settles down is when the independent thinking awakens, begins to emerge. That is from 14 to 21. And I need to wait it out. And it's like a baby is not crawling, and I'm not worried. I know the baby will start crawling about 4 to 6 months time frame. Only when the baby is still not crawling at 8 months do I get worried. But I wait it out. So somewhere, just like the port, the city that sank, the Port Royal, I should not react to the earthquakes. I should look at building my town, my child, on the sound, stable footing, ground, the basic rhythms in the family. So if we can carry that image of the town that sank, Port Royal, think of that. Have that image, hold that image, beautiful buildings on the top on a shaky ground. Is my child going through something like that? Have I gone through something like that? Look at it, right? So it's not whatever we think as safe, whatever we think as secure, whatever we think that I'm providing for my child may not be so. I'm not saying it is not always wrong, but I begin doing whatever I think it is right, but then I also look at my child. I also take feedback from my child. If my child is not responding to it right, if my child is little hesitant about it, then I stop and think. And not because I've paid the fees for the whole month, the child has to go to that class for the whole month. It's like this leftover food. We don't want to waste it, so we eat it. My stomach is upset, I'm bloated, I suffer, then I take Digene to digest it, then I vomit it out, whatever. I mean, it's like, anyway, so much of it is going waste. So think of how you could cook less a little. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but then observe. Just because it's all out there, I don't have to enroll my child in it. Just because it appears safe, I don't have to take my child there. Observe. That is what we need to be looking. Observe that ground where you want to build the house, right? So children definitely don't change overnight. Look at any of your friendships. It didn't become sour overnight. We were very good friends, we were doing many things together, but something I did, my friend did not like, and then they started drifting apart, occasionally meeting, not very close. Eventually one day it snaps. Right? I only look at the day when my friend did not respond to me at all. I wonder what happened. Wondering what happened is good, but find out the reason and try to shift rather than getting angry at them. Right? That's what it is. So look at lessons that nature is teaching us. Any incident that you find out in the newspaper, you read it, just spend a few seconds and apply. How does this apply to my parenting style? And then you will have answers for yourself. Thank you.